Haribol. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnanam Jnanashalakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Giri Yat Kripa Tamaham Bande Shri Gurun Dinataranam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Evacha Patitanam Paramebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahabhadanaya Krishna Prema Pidayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauda Trishe Namaha Nityanandam Namastubhyam Premananda Pradayane Kalau Kalmashanashaya Janavapataye Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dīnabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopikananta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vrindai Tulsi Devan Priyai Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satya Vachaya Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Sabai bolo Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare. First of all, I'm offering my unlimited Dandavat pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most worshipable, beloved Gurudev Nitya Leela Pravishta. Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Asto Tarasata Sri Srila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Mahārāja Srila Prabhupada. Then I'm offering my same unlimited Dandavat pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most worshipable, beloved Siksha Gurudevs, Nitya Leela Pravishta, Om Vishnupad Paramahansa, Ashtatarasata Sri Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Gosvāmī Mahārāja, and Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Asto Tarasata Sri Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Gosvāmī Mahārāja. And on this divine Avirbhav Mahamahotsav Titi, Transcendental Appearance Day of Srila Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Gosvāmī Mahārāja, I'm offering my unlimited Dandavat pranams at his divine lotus feet, Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Ashto Tarasata Sri Srila Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Gosvāmī Mahārāja Ki. I offer my Dandavat pranams to all of my Sri Sri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga, and my Dandavat pranams to all the Vaishnavas and to all the Vaishnavis, headed by all the Tridandi Sannyasi Khan. I'm very honored to have an opportunity in this very, very sacred place in Sri Mayapur Dham, at the beautiful Samadhi Mandir of Srila Bhāratī Gosvāmī Mahārāja, to have a chance for a few minutes to make an attempt to speak something about his glories Yesterday we also had a very nice session and class where I read many things from his website, how he himself was telling that he learned so many things from all of his Siksha gurus, one after the other after the other. We read so many. He called them mantras. He said, the mantra that I learned from such and such personality, meaning that very specific teaching, very important teaching that he received. So, Srila Bhārati Gosvāmī Mahārāja, of course, we've already heard so many divine glories from so many of the speakers. But from my own personal perspective, Srila Bhārati Gosvāmī Mahārāja, I accept him as one of my very, very exalted, worshipable Siksha gurus. And I use the word guru because by the grace of Krishna, by the mercy of my gurus, I had the opportunity to hear directly from him on quite a number of occasions over a period of a few years, particularly the final 2 years, and also back in 2012, like this. And I came to understand something about him, that it became very obvious to me that this divine personality is completely, perfectly situated in full realization of all Tattva Siddhanta. That was the conclusion that came into my heart. Whatever he would speak on any topic, it was always very, very concise, very straight to the point, and very clear. And not only in person hearing from him, but also on so many occasions over these years since his samadhi, I've also studied his teachings, his books, and especially one teaching in particular that he would repeat over and over again when he himself would give class, when he himself would lecture. At the beginning of his lecture, he would check his Panjika, the Bengali calendar of all the divine days of appearance, disappearance, etc. And without fail, if there was any great personality, disciple of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, other great acharyas in our line, that was the main thing that Srila Bhārati Maharaj would stress, that on their appearance day and on their disappearance day, we must glorify them. If we do not speak about their glories and make an attempt to worship them and glorify them, it constitutes an aparad, an offense. So, even there were so many personalities that Srila Bhārati Maharaj, of course, he was in his life, he was in a particular generation of Vaishnavas who joined the Gaudiya Math at a time after the disappearance of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. But his own guru was a disciple of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And therefore, through that line, Srila Bhārati Maharaj became such a perfected, exalted personality through the blessings of his guru, but he didn't have one guru. He had many gurus. I know that my Siksha guru, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Gosvāmī Mahārāja, he also said the same thing, because he's from that same generation, that I had so many Siksha gurus. I was so fortunate, he said. When I came to the lotus feet of my Guru Maharaj, Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj, in 1946, end of 1946, so many disciples of Prabhupada, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, they were still present on the planet. And I had the opportunity to hear from so many of them, and to also serve them, and to receive their mercy and their blessings. So I have so many Siksha gurus, he used to say. And in the same way, Srila Bhārati Maharaj, I think he will be remembered especially for his contribution in this regard. That is, that he has produced a document that will be read for hundreds and hundreds of years into the future, probably thousands of years. What did he do? He immortalized the names of various disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur who I never even heard of their names. I knew nothing about them. I'll just give one example. Srila Bhakti Saranga Gosvāmī Mahārāja, who was also intimate with my Guru Maharaj, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj. He was intimate with him, but I didn't know anything about him. And when I read the book, My Beloved Masters, by Srila Bhāratī Maharaj, and I read the biographical sketch of Srila Bhakti Saranga Gosvāmī Maharaj, then I became astonished how I never knew about this personality. This personality was so exalted that when Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada heard that he had come into our line and joined Gaudiya Math, and he himself was born in one of the most exalted lines of Gosvāmī families in Bengal, highly, highly worshipable. And when he came, and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was informed of the various preaching that he was doing and so forth, tears came to his eyes. He said, Mahaprabhu has sent one of his own. So in this way, I consider myself very fortunate that I had the opportunity to directly meet, to hear from Srila Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Gosvāmī Maharaj, and to take him into my heart as one of my Siksha Gurus. How many more minutes do I have? Yeah, I have another 8 minutes. Okay. So I just wanted to say that everyone should read that book. Everyone in any Vaishnava institution, doesn't matter, any Gaudiya Math institution, any Gaudiya Vaishnava institution, they must read that book, My Beloved Masters, because then you can learn how exalted were the disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Some institutions think, our founder Acharya was really the only pure devotee of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. This is false. And that misconception is completely shattered by Srila Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Maharaj's contribution of this book. Therefore I call it a document. It's a historical document. And anyone in the future can then learn about who were these divine personalities, the disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. And then of course, their disciples. So just to complete, I wanted to read something from his website, and these are a few of his own self-written ideal principles that he kept in his life. His own principles that he followed and he kept in his life. There's 12 of them, I think. 14, there's 14. So the first principle he said, in my whole life, I never told anyone to accept Harinam Diksha from my Guru Maharaj or any other Vaishnava. Rather, I made everyone hear the glories of Harinam and Harikatha. And my thinking was, why should I insist upon anyone accepting Harinam when upon the development of faith, that individual will himself say that I am desirous of accepting Harinam. That's his first principle. Second one, I never asked any devotee who came into my close association whose shelter he had taken, which institution he belonged to, or consequently, how I could meet with him again. Because just by seeing someone adorned with the signs of a Gaudiya devotee, I accepted him like our own family. Number 3, I never went back on my words after having promised anyone, regardless of any amount of inconvenience or obstacles that it caused. Number 4, in my whole life I was never frivolous with anyone. I never cut jokes with anyone, and I never tried to woo anyone. Number 5, what to speak of using something that belongs to someone else, I never even touched it. Number 6, I never left things to be done on a given day until the next day. I would manage my responsibilities in such a way that even if for some reason I was not available the next morning, no one would be inconvenienced. Only by seeing my diary, everything will be crystal clear. Number 7, I never compromised with anyone when it came to Siddhanta, nor did I ever bow before anyone when it came to Siddhanta. Number 8, I never gave anyone dishonest advice. I gave the best possible advice according to my understanding. Number 9, to all the devotees who approached me in a mood of surrender, I tried to bestow fearlessness upon them as per my capacity, and I always tried to serve them to the best of my ability. Number 10, I never misplaced anything due to negligence, and nothing in my custody was ever stolen. That's a pretty good one, to live in India and not have anything stolen. Number 11, in my life I never quarreled with anyone, and I never retaliated despite 1,000 abuses, or if someone got angry with me. I never quarreled, I never retaliated. Number 12, even in my dreams, I never disregarded the order of my Guru Mahārāja, that whenever the opportunity for Vaishnava Seva arises, never let it go. Who knows if such an opportunity may be available even in the future? I'm again repeating this. The order that he heard from his own Guru Maharaj, he said even in his dreams he never disregarded that. What is that order? This is the order. Whenever the opportunity for Vaishnava Seva arises, never let it go. Who knows if such an opportunity may even be available in the future? Number 13, I could never become a yes man in my life. You know what a yes man is? Just without any real mood of surrender. Yes, okay. Like that. Never. I could never become a yes man in my life. And number 14, the last one, without being asked, I never objected or offered my advice to anyone on something that they were doing, or were about to do, or did. I never offered my advice to anyone on something that they were doing, they were about to do, or they did. Gaur Premanandi, Srila Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki jai. Tadiya Avirbhav Maha Mahotsav Titi Srila Bhāratī Mahārāja ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Hari Vansha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sandhudeva Patitanam Bhagavanti Vaishnavi Brahmana. All glories to King Indra.